So it's important not only to understand how to educate talents and what our industry needs, but it's also important to know how to make company offers attractive to talents. So our next speaker will share VTT experience on the strategy and best practices to acquire talent. Please welcome VTT Senior Specialist Pontus Sjöström.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Indrek, for your great presentation. I wish I had all the solutions, but I'm recruiting as well. But please, let's spar after this. Let's have a talk. Hope we can help out in some way. My name is Pontus Sjöström. I work as a senior recruitment at VTT, the Technical Research Center of Finland. And I'm here today to give you a little bit of an insight in our talent attraction strategy and our best practices. I want to start off by telling you a little bit about VTT in a nutshell, and then continue by telling you what we've done so far in talent acquisition and employer branding. I'll present some talent acquisition key metrics for you because we believe in data. And then I will shortly present our employer branding strategy and our employer promise. Basically, if you've heard about VTT before, we're an 82-year-old company. We were founded in 1942. We're a fully state-owned limited liability company. Our company ownership steering is under responsibility of the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment in Finland. We're a non-profit company with the special duty of acting as an independent and impartial research center, promoting wide-range utilization and commercialization of research and technology. We're active on 5 sites in Finland. Our biggest site is in Espoo. We have several sites in Espoo, also in Tampere, Oulu, Jyväskylä, and we have a small meteorology center in Kajaani. We're a very diverse company. We have about 2,200 persons working for us. Our research community is about 1,800 persons strong, and we have about 400 people working within business support and commercial operations. We have VTTers with over 55 nationalities, and 60% are men, and 40% of our workers are women. The research, development, and innovation within VTT is divided into 3 business areas. We have our carbon neutral solutions, then we have our digital technologies, and then we have our sustainable products and materials. Within carbon neutral solutions, we develop systemic and technological solutions to decarbonize both the economy and society. Our focus here is on energy systems, on mobility and transport, built environment, and hydrogen. Within digital technologies, we focus on digital breakthrough technologies to enable a safe and connected society. Our special expertise here is microelectronics, quantum technology, sensing solutions, and foresight and data economy. And then within sustainable products, we simply create sustainable processes and technologies, materials, and products for a more sustainable future. We're an active, inclusive, and attractive organization. We pursue goals that the entire world needs, and this is also what how we've built up our purpose. And if we look at talent attraction, everything starts from the purpose, of course, your brand. The purpose we are marketing is we bring together people, business, science, and technology to solve the world's biggest challenges. Humble, right? It's but at the same time creating sustainable growth, jobs, and well-being. And Indrek talked a little bit about what young professionals want and require these days. It's a proven fact that a meaningful place to work is right up there. It's more important now than ever. It's not all about basic Maslow needs like pay. It's also about well-being and having the possibility to work with something with a purpose, do a meaningful job, and improve your own well-being through that as well. At VTT, we measure our success in talent acquisition with several key performance indicators. If you remember, we have 2,200 VTTers. Last year, we recruited 406 new professionals. The year before, 400. So we're growing also quite fast because we have a turnover rate, a retention rate of 2.9%. So there's 5 of us recruiters working in our talent acquisition team. So that means that basically each of us help out with 70 or 80 recruitments a year. We measure our time to hire. We have gotten that down from 78 days to 59 days last year. This means that from the moment someone applies for a job at VTT to the moment we can actually make an offer, about 2 months passes by. So I don't know, does this sound like a long time to you or a short time to you? Kind of long.
I would say 1 month.
We'd like to be there. There's still a little bit of bureaucracy and permits in place, but of course, what influences this as well is the potential need for relocation services. So that's something that tends to drag it out a little bit because you need to figure out if you need a work permit or not before. Twice a year, we also survey our manager satisfaction on new hires, and we also do the same surveys to all the candidates that have been interviewed. We also follow data such as qualified applications. With a qualified applicant, I mean an applicant that meets the minimum requirements of the position. An applicant that's, so to speak, interviewable. We're around 10% there. Last year we had 16,000 applications for these 406 positions to which we made hiring decisions. A lot of our talent acquisition and attraction work is communications, as you know. Having a lively LinkedIn page certainly helps. We managed to reach out to 40% of these new employees just through LinkedIn. We managed to reach out to over 20% of these new employees through our current VTT networks, existing VTTer networks, so through like referral recruitments and utilizing our recruitment reward. And then our VTT website is still up there among the 3 most famous ways of getting to know about jobs at VTT. So basically 80% of all our new hires found us through either LinkedIn, our webpage, or just through current VTTers networks. So what have we done so far in employer branding? We started working actively on talent attraction in 2018. That's when we started to participate in student and recruitment fairs. We did some student collaboration already then. But in 2019, we launched a new employee value proposition, or in other words, an employer promise. We launched new content of VTTers, videos, articles. In 2020, we started doing brand photo shoots With this I mean we started using only VTTers and only VTT facilities in every picture we take and in every picture we show and every story we tell. In 2021, we launched our trainee program, VTT Changemakers, and we started doing target group-based employee value propositions. So that means that we've analyzed our talent pool like values on such a deep level that we know that what each researcher or each business support or salesperson who works for us really cherishes within their work. 2022, we revised our employer branding strategy. We started doing more social media campaigns. We increased our student partnerships. And last year and following on to this year, we're working a lot more with employee advocacy. Do you know what that is? Basically, having current VTTers promote the workplace through several channels and methods, recruitment rewards and such. We have also started building these talent communities, like pipelines for each position. So instead of always just, of course, we still open up positions for recruitments publicly, but for each niche position, such as quantum computing or microelectronics or data scientist positions, like really niche positions which are hard to fill. We also are building continuous pipelines in the background so that we can always, every time we have a chance to recruit, we have a pool of the best people in the market to contact. And last year, this says we had a record amount of applicants for our Summer of Changemaker campaign. We had 3,200 applications for just our trainee positions last year. Our deadline for this year's program closed last week, and I can tell you that we have 4,300 applicants in this year's program. So this is exponential, this increase in applications. Our employer branding successes last year were definitely gaining some spots in the Universum study of most attractive employers in Finland. We were the 14th most attractive workplace among natural sciences students and the 24th most attractive among engineering students. But perhaps most important, we were the 6th most attractive employer among professionals in engineering. We had around 100 new trainees starting working at us, and we continue in building the world's most meaningful place to work from this day forward. What challenges do we foresee here now in the future? Recruitment is often referred to as something that provides you with the right talent right now, whereas talent attraction is something that provides you with the right talent both right now and in the future. And we think that our key challenges for this upcoming year is that the competition for really niche, high-demand senior talent continues to be fierce. As we heard, there's a lot of research institutes and companies competing for the same talent. We have already now difficulties attracting enough qualified senior applicants to certain niche positions, and we have noticed a climb in receiving more declined offers as well. So it's not all about finalizing the recruitment process or selling your company. It's also also very much about how you sell your company and what your sales pitch looks like and what you can really offer on a deeper level. And then our second challenge that we see is that we need to start engaging talent even earlier in the career to ensure that we have the right future talent. Because like we saw on the previous slide, we're less known among student target groups than professionals, and our student collaboration has been more reactive than strategic. So what are we doing? We try to focus on authentic storytelling, focused on our people. We try to increase awareness and engage talent by telling real, authentic stories about real VTT people, our purpose, and our ambition. All the photos we use in every channel of communication, social media, are pictures of actual VTT people. We focus on both them and teamwork in our facilities that are state-of-the-art. Then we try to engage our employees to tell their own authentic stories with their own voices. Because it's one thing when a company reaches out and tries to sell a bit of a story. People tend not to listen to that in the same way as they listen to actual people working with actual tasks who tell the same story. And something we are also trying to do right now is to show the why we do things instead of just explaining what we're doing. We also try to convey as much emotions in our stories as possible. So a certain crude way of showing this or visualizing this is that currently our employer branding is quite individual-centric. It focuses more on bringing facts about the job tasks. We're really good at telling people facts. That's the typical research community, facts, facts, facts. But what we want to do, our state of will in our storytelling and our tone of voice, is to bring more stories of actual people working together and conveying emotions as well. Not just the what, instead more why, with whom, what it's like doing it, and how it feels like. Because this is a better way of building employer brand in our case. So this is what we've done in practice. In 2018, we started off with stock images focusing on technology and science. And nowadays, we use genuine people in our real facilities. And it's worked out so far. It's also important to notice what not to do in storytelling, and that is not to tell a story that, for example, your own employees can't familiarize with. So all storytelling should be based on what work is, what work feels like, and not how we would like it to be. And this is something when you start off building something new. This is one of the stepping stones you may encounter. You know what you would like to be, but you need to communicate what you really are to be authentic. Our employer promise is that by joining us, you join a journey to a brighter future. We also promise that we're an encouraging and inspiring working community for cutting-edge professionals, and something that's really important for us, apart from emotional leadership, is also a focus on well-being. So the key takeaways, I hope you take with you from here, is that at VTT we consider our work very meaningful. We believe in an authentic employer branding strategy. We think the future is engaging our people as employee advocates. And it helps knowing the numbers. Thank you. Hope you have questions. Hope you have questions I can answer.
So thank you for your nice presentation, and we have a question.
Yeah.
So if you would advise us or Indrek, which model would you prefer, or all of them? Let's say Indrek mentioned that they will focus also on, let's say, 5-year periods to recruit someone, or a more tenured, lifelong commitment, long-term commitment, or a third model that some institutes use who are maybe in a remote place. For example, at the famous Institute for Science at Okinawa, who is on an island there, and on the island, they use this kind of a joint group leaders who actually have, let's say, their major central position at Max Planck in Germany, but also has a second laboratory in Okinawa, for example. And in some places, this has proved very successful to bring really top people from abroad and commit some of their expertise. So these 3 models, 5-year periods of visiting scholar, a lifelong tenured commitment, or this kind of adjunct professorship in a shared lab.
Difficult question, as you know, but I would build it if building it from scratch. I would build it through nurturing future talent. I would build it through starting with traineeship programs, and I would take it from there. I would, of course, combine certain hybrid elements, such as relocating certain niche talent, but before doing that, you need to think about the why. How to get them to want to come, because I think we talked in the last, or you had a question during the last presentation about contracts, expatriates, and bringing knowledge back. I think that might be a little bit problematic. At least for us, it would be problematic, also in a legal sense. I think you should build it, but it takes time.
But in small places like us, if we build only on the local universities, we just clone the labs which are in the universities, we will not get any new ideas, and that is what will happen.
But that's everything's. That's where we started. Of course, we started 82 years ago, so we had a little bit of a head start. But if you, I stumble across the thought a lot that the grass is greener on the other side, and we also tend to do that. We tend to think that the knowledge is more profitable or better, or there are better talents outside of VTT. But I would say you need to start recognizing talent within and start nurturing that talent as well.
So the Singapore model, that to be at the crossroads of all the caravan routes and where ideas are shared from all the scientists of the world, that's not your model. You build like a Finnocentric institute. So we should do the same, or we should just...
Finnocentric, hopefully it's not Finnocentric. Hopefully it's not seen as Finnocentric. I would like for it not to be Finnocentric. but also attracting talent from abroad, it takes more than just a business idea.
We have a lot of questions.
I have a little bit more local question. Finland has a lot of links with Scandinavian countries, especially Sweden. Do you see some influx of talents from the Scandinavian countries, Sweden, or do you see opposite outflux of your talents to the Scandinavian countries?
In the case of Sweden, I would say more of an outflux and not an influx. We have good cooperation, yes, but there's not a lot of movement going on there. The influxes are basically from universities, and the outfluxes are towards industry, big industrial companies such as Neste or Fortum or these types of companies.
And we have more questions from the...
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Actually, I'm an insider. I'm also a VTTer, and I was a perspective. I moved from Germany to Finland, so I can basically say from my perspective what was sort of the reason to go to Finland. It was not so that I got sort of emotional kind of comfortness or so. It was more really the topic. Like when you're in a situation, you graduate from university for looking something to develop your career, and you want to sort of have trust that the organization where you welcome in a way has sort of is able to sort of sustain you. So I think it's very important also to know in a way what environment you're coming in. It's not so much on a VTT level that in a way you're changing the world. It's more like what exactly in a way is the expertise of the people? Do they sort of have experience in supervising? Are there other PhD students, for instance? VTT has a great organization, the young professionals, which sort of welcome in a way newcomers, and then you are there with all of the other people from abroad. So I think there's many in a way small details in a way that are worth also sharing in a way when you in a way put out these sort of ads for recruiting international talents, because they are really, really helpful and effective. Yes.
Yeah.
First from there, yeah.
Thank you so much. I promise I will give you the mic next. Thank you very much. Very interesting. I was just wondering, where do you get your talents from? Like, is there maybe a top 3 industries or sectors, and why do they choose you? Do you have this, like in general?
Looking at statistics, I think the top universities, especially in Finland, are the main places from where especially researchers join VTT. We're talking Oulu, Tampere, Helsinki universities. But the way of reaching out to them is quite organic through LinkedIn and through our current employees and their networks. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, but why do they choose you?
Why they choose us? Well, hopefully they choose us because we promise that you get to be curious, and we try to give a purpose as well. We still have a little bit of challenges with this. I think the Finno-centric comment from Martin, it was perfect, because we still have a little bit of problem with this Finno-centricity, and we need to be more open. But that's on such a deep cultural level that it takes time to steer that ship, change the direction.
Thank you so much for the talk. I'm a student, so I'll ask more of my relevant question. While recruiting young talent, as you mentioned, how much does academic qualification weigh in your equation for recruitment? Because the trend over the past years have changed. People are more inclined towards PhD, and it's getting quite competitive in academia as well. So how much does academic qualification weigh in respect to other factors that you take into consideration?
I wish I could give you some helpful tips and some helpful information, but there's no rule of thumb, really. It's a sum of all factors. Of course, it's important, but it's not the most important thing. It's more important to like find a cultural fit in combination with your academia, and have like similar ambitions for the future.
Thank you, Pontus. How do you still secure national interests while serving large global corporations, for example?
Could you elaborate a little bit on your question?
Well, usually, I mean, in Singapore, for example, it's very beneficial to serve as a CRO, a large national or large corporations. But at the other hand, they also build up a portfolio of assets to actually more or less put the company into the Singapore, so that the value creation, let's say the pilot plant or the production of the pilot product, will be done in Singapore very often. There have been multiple examples. I know that in Finland and in Estonia we both have one very critical issue, and since 2007 our added value from industry have not raised. It's still steady state, even though we have invested a lot into R&D. And I have one idea that maybe we do not serve sufficiently large international companies, and at the same time we don't have any cues to invite them to set up a production, high-value production in our countries.
I'd like to say that your question is a little bit too difficult for my expertise. Let's have a talk after this. Let's see if we can figure it out together.
Okay,
Of
let's
course.
take like last question from the back, and then we have to continue.
Thank you very much. My name is Anna, and I'm also a student, Erasmus Mundus student who has an exchange semester in Teltech. And I would like to ask also from a position of possible applicants to VVT. So you mentioned a lot about organization, but can you name the key values which help the organization achieve its success?
Yeah, hopefully. At VTT, it's not only our right to learn something new every day. At VTT, it's our what's the word I'm looking for? It's our, not our right, but our duty to learn something new each day as well. So this is something we try to build on. This, our purpose, bringing meaningfulness to work, and our values, and then this obligation to learn something new every day. I think those are the foundations for traineeship.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you for your nice presentation.